Blacks in Technology.
Blacks in technology. Blacks in technology. Blacks in technology. Blacks in technology. Blacks in technology.
Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the Blacks in Technology Big Tech Talk podcast, a show where we talk to people of color who are engineers, innovators, educators, inventors, and entrepreneurs doing amazing things in the world of technology. This podcast is where they share their experiences, ideas, knowledge, and perspective on tech within the BIT community. I'm your host, Greg Greenlee, and if this is your first time listening, you can check us out at www.blacksintechnology.net. You can also check us out on the Twitters. We are at Black in Technology, and that is BLKINTECHNOLOGY. Also check us out on Facebook, facebook.com/Blacks in Technology. And we also have a LinkedIn group under Blacks in Technology. I actually just realized that we are actually now on iTunes. So if you are one of those Apple people and you want to check our podcast out, look up Blacks in Technology on iTunes, and you should see our podcast there. So I actually registered for that some time back, and then I reformatted my computer and took iTunes off, and I never checked back on it. And I just recently checked this week and found out that we're on there. So check us out on iTunes. So Blacks in Technology is a tech-focused community and media organization focused on increasing diversity in technology. Blacks in Technology is always focused on forming new partnerships and opportunities to assist our members with their continued professional growth and development. So if you'd like to partner with us, you can send us an email to contact us at blacksintechnology.net. Also, any general inquiries relating to sponsorship or partnerships with Blacks in Technology, send those also to contact us at blacksintechnology.net. Before we get started, we do have some announcements. ElasticCon is going to be happening in San Francisco, February 7th through the 19th. At, I think, Pier 48 is where it's happening. If you don't know about the conference or the company that puts on the conference or organizes the conference, Elastic, formerly known as Elasticsearch, is the company behind the open source projects Elasticsearch, Logstash, Kibana, and now Beats. And it's designed to take data from any source and search, analyze, and visualize it in real time. I actually use this product. I set up an Elastic cluster at my job for log aggregation, and it works very, very well. It's more of an open source Splunk. So if you know about Splunk, then you kind of get an idea of what Elasticsearch is. Anyhow, they have a conference going on February 17th through the 19th. I will be at that conference. We do have a partnership with Elastic, and we are actually sending a couple of members out to the conference. So it should be me and two other people that will be attending that conference. So big ups to Elastic for partnering with us on that. And they're also going to be sponsoring, hopefully, a meetup. So more to come on that. Every time I go out to San Fran, I try to, get together or put together a meetup for Blacks in Technology. So hopefully that'll pop off as well that week. So more to come on that. So, just check the website. Stay tuned. I'm pretty sure I'll be tweeting it out pretty frequently as time grows closer. What else? Self-conference is happening in May in Detroit. We partnered with them last year. We're partnering again with them this year. Self is a developers conference, or mainly developers conference, although they do talk about other things in tech. It's a majority developers conference. We had a real nice time when we were up there last time. We did do a Blacks in Technology meetup. We will be doing another one this year, and there will be free sponsored passes for that. So if you're in the Detroit area and want to attend this conference, be on the lookout for that coming soon. Last but not least, Clojure West. Clojure is another development conference for the Clojure language. That's happening in Seattle, Washington in April. and we will also be giving away some tickets for that. So if you're interested in the language closure, you're interested in going to that conference, then check us out. We'll be making some announcements about that. And also, Closure, I'm pretty sure, is offering opportunity grants. So for people from underrepresented groups, if you don't have the financial means to make a trip out that way, and you're looking for assistance, they do have opportunity grants that are open right now. If you go to, or if you just Google Closure West, you'll see the conference, and then you'll see a link on there for the opportunity grants. But we will be giving away some tickets for that conference, so tune in for that. What else is going on? Our Slack channel. We're over 300 people in our Slack channel, so that's exciting, right? I think we're at like 306 right now, so there's 306 people of color in a chat room, pretty much, talking technology, having fun, enjoying each other's company. If you check out our site and search for Slack, you'll see a link for the sign-up form to be invited, because Slack is an invite-only type of application. So check us out on the site, do a search for Slack, get the link from there, and get invited to our Slack room, and you know, then you can network with the rest of us. Like I said, we're over 300, went over 300 this week. So also a big announcement for us is we went over 1,900 Blacks in Technology members on our site. I think we're at 1,907 members now, which is pretty huge. So our community site is doing well. We're still growing. Our forums are still really active. 1,900, that's a big number. We want to see more, of course. So go to Blacks in Technology, register. It's always free, always will be free, as long as I'm alive anyhow. So check us out there, blackstechnology.net, and just register on the site. Also, check out our jobs board. There are a few jobs out there right now. One from Color Stock, they're hiring for a CTO. I announced this last podcast. Black Founders is also looking for a program manager. In the Seattle University, they're hiring for a technical analyst. So go check out the jobs boards. If you're interested in any of those jobs, then go ahead, check it out and apply. All right, so we're actually going to get into what this show is about. The topic for tonight's show is changing lives through careers in tech. Now, we did one of these shows previously, probably 2 or 3 podcasts ago. We had a number of women from a similar type of technology training program. But tonight we're going to be joined. We're joined by Chrystal Banks. She actually went through the Per Scholas. She actually went through the Per Scholas program, and we're going to talk to her. Now, Chrystal, she's claimed she's a novice in the tech industry, but she just went through a web development boot camp. So I can't believe that she's a novice anymore. So anyhow, she studied the sociology at the University of the District of Columbia before she actually got into the tech world. And before becoming a full-stack web developer, she received her A+ certification through Per Scholas adult technical training. Now, I'm quite familiar with Per Scholas. Some of you might not be, so I'll let Chrystal actually explain what Per Scholas is. I'm actually mentoring. I actually got involved with them a few months back. I would say early fall. I went and spoke to a class, and then I began mentoring some students from the program. And I'm actually going through my second round of students, and the first round of students, it was about 8 students, and a lot of it was through email and through talking on the phone, giving people advice, taking a look at their resume, helping them to restructure it, things like that. But the second round, there was only 2 that I'm mentoring right now, and I actually just recently helped one out because he was having issues with being able to work on exercises because he couldn't remote desktop into computers, right? I guess Per Scholas allows you to to remote into some of their computers and work on exercises and things like that for the A+ certification. But he only had a Chromebook, and he didn't realize that the Chrome browser actually has a plug-in that allows you to remote desktop into the computer. So, you know, I hipped him to that, and he just recently emailed me and said, you know, thanks a lot for directing me or pointing me in that direction. I'm A+ certified now, and you know, that really helped me. Yeah, so it's pretty exciting, you know, to be able to help out and point people in the right direction, give them good advice, and you know, because he was able to do his exercises and things like that, he's now A+ certified. So cool. So yeah, so I want to introduce Chrystal to the show. Thanks, Chrystal, for taking time out to join us tonight.
No problem. Thanks for having me. I'm really excited to be here tonight.
Excellent, excellent. So, you know, this is always our first question that we ask our guests. Tell us who you are, where you're from, and how you got into tech.
So, I'm Chrystal Banks. I'm from the D.C., Maryland, Virginia area. I currently live in Silver Spring, Maryland. I got into tech through, obviously, Per Scholas. Before then, I had no background in technology other than tinkering around with my dad as a kid.
Hello?
Hello? Yeah, hello?
Yeah, I'm here. I thought we lost you there.
No, I'm here.
Okay.
So yeah, I've been studying I'm sorry.
No, so you were saying you got in, you kind of, you know, just toyed around with computers, you know, in your spare time, nothing really serious at the time?
Right, before I got into Per Scholas, exactly. Yeah, I would just tinker around with my dad growing up, and I was studying psychology and sociology, nowhere near technology. I had no idea that was even where I wanted to go.
Right.
Until, like I said, it was just something I just did in my spare time. My brother is really into computers, so me and him together, we would just look into different things and, you know, try to research the latest thing. And, you know, it was just like kind of like a family kind of thing. Like we all were into technology, but we never really pursued it as a career. I came across Per Scholas, and yeah, it just launched from there. And now I'm learning all the time, and I love to learn, and I'm constantly in a class or a workshop or a boot camp or.
Nice. So to tell us, what prompted your decision to pursue a spot in the Per Scholas program? I mean, what was it that clicked with you that said, hey, you know, I really want to get into technology and I want to pursue this as a career?
Well, I actually heard about Per Scholas when I was pursuing another opportunity at it's a local nonprofit here in the D.C., Maryland, Virginia called A Wider Circle. And I was there pursuing something with the Census Bureau. And one of the employees came in and he mentioned Per Scholas. And afterwards, you know, he just did like a brief intro about, you know, what Per Scholas was. And afterwards, after the testing was over, I went up to him and I just wanted to know some more questions. I wanted to know some more information about it. So he gave me the website and I checked it out. I went home that night and I just looked into it. I looked at, you know, what they were offering, the certifications, and then I looked into some of the jobs. And then, you know, I just thought, I was like, this is something that I can do. And so I applied that night. It was an application process, and I just applied that night, and yeah.
So for those who you know aren't in the know about what Per Scholas is, can you give us let's give us a brief description about what the Per Scholas program is about?
So Per Scholas is a nonprofit adult learning program where they teach you pretty much the basics of computer technology, hardware, a little bit of software. They teach you operating systems, how to take computers apart, how to put them together. We had labs, but they also taught a lot of professional development. It wasn't just, all technology. It was professional career development. So every Friday they would have like a professional development day where we had to dress in business attire, and we would do mock interviews, and we would just work on, branding ourselves, and we had like a 60-second pitch statement, and it was a full rounded program where, it just helped you become a better person overall. They taught you technical skills, but they also helped you develop your soft skills at the same time. So it was a really rewarding program. So.
Yeah, and my interaction with it, like I said, it was the first time I had actually heard about it was in the fall. It might have been in the summer going in the fall, but they were actually moving into a new facility here in Cincinnati, Ohio, and they were, I guess, kind of. They had an event there because this was a new building. They invited a bunch of people. They had a former mayor who was there, plus a bunch of other corporate people, and they were just, letting everybody know that, hey, we're moved into this new building. This is great. And then, I actually wasn't going to go, but a couple of my work colleagues were going. And so, I thought, I'd tag along. And I'm glad I did because, being there, I saw a lot of people, a lot of great things that were happening. I met a lot of different people, and it's great to see, people who look like you pursuing a career in the same industry that you're in. So, it gives you a little bit of hope, like, oh, okay, so, we've got some people coming up through the ranks. That's great. And so right then and there, I met some of the people who were running this specific Per Scholas program, and, just let them know, like, hey, I'd love to come and speak. I'd love to, mentor or do whatever. I can to help these young people out, and not all of them are young. Some of them are actually, just changing careers, such as you did. Mm-hmm. So I think it's a great thing. Tell us, give us a little bit about what your experience was like during the program. Like, what did you learn? How were the lectures set up? Like, what were the hands-on activities about? Give us a little bit of insight on that.
So we had one instructor, and we met with him 4 days a week from 9 to 4. They had the curriculum set up to where it was like a working day. So, like I said, it was like a professional development kind of thing. So we had a lecture from the morning and afternoon. It was pretty intense. We were learning both 801 and 802, or the A+ certification, in 2 months. So it was a lot of it was a lot of information to learn. But like I said, along with that, we had to do the professional development. But it was a really it was interesting because it was a large group of, it was probably about 24 of us, and the people in my class, we just kind of clicked like a family. So having that kind of atmosphere where everyone worked together, it was, when you literally went through an emotional roller coaster where you felt like, this is a lot of work, this is really hard. How do you do this? Right. But you have people there that are going through the same thing, that feel the same thing that you do, that support you and that lift you up, especially during those hard times. So, the lectures, everything about the program is really, focused on building a better person. So, like I said, lectures along with the professional development, along with having the environment, because along with the instructors, we would have visitors come in, people from the actual tech field who would come in to speak with us and give us their background on how it is. And we also had people come in who were recruiters, and so it was really well-rounded. It was really engaging. We had, like I said, days where we would just take computers apart. We would work on them together, apart, separately. It's a really intense program. Like I said, it was a really intense 2 months, because having to deal with reading and lectures all day and then having to go home and study, because you really have to put the time into study, along with having a family and your personal life, because I'm a single mom. So it's just really, it was a really intense 2 months.
Right. And just, you know, I didn't go through a program. I actually self-studied for the 8+ years ago. But, you know, just having, there's just two things, you know, a few things I'm taking away from what you just said. For one, the group aspect and everybody kind of having, being each other's crutch, so to speak, and having that type of support, which is huge when you're embarking on something that's intense like that, right? Because you know, you don't have all the answers all the time, and it's good to have that kind of collective group knowledge that you can pull from. It's similar to, you know, what we're trying to do here at Blacks in Technology as a community, right? Is, you know, you have all this collective knowledge in one place. Let's use that as a resource and as a tool to make each other better. So it's always great when, you know, you can learn what you can learn on your own, but what happens when you get tripped up on something, right? And you don't quite understand it. Having a group there allows another person to kind of, you know, supplement that knowledge and say, hey, you know, here's how it actually works. So that's one thing. The other thing I got from what you just said is the soft skills that Per Scholas provides, right? I remember talking to a couple of the people there at Per Scholas here in Cincinnati, and I think it's great that they not only work on the technical part of it, but they do help you format and get your resume up to par. They do actually, the one here in Cincinnati actually partners with a local church, and that church, I think that what they do is they have, you know, people bring in, like, you know, suits that they don't wear anymore, dress clothes that they don't wear anymore, things like that. And for those who might not have the financial means to, you know, have a pair of khakis and a tie and a shirt, they're able to actually they actually are able to provide, you know, clothing and things like that for the students in the course. So I think that's a great thing. But, you know, the coaching with the interviewing, making sure that people, you know, have that mindset going out into the field about what it's going to take, not just from a technical standpoint, but from a professional standpoint as well, is huge. You know, I run into quite a few people who are members on the site or become members on the site, and where, you know, they might come to me and say, hey, you know, I'm trying to find a job, I'm getting passed over, you know, can you take a look at my resume? As a matter of fact, I think there's a thread going on in our forums where a guy is basically, you know, I can't find a job, you know, and one of the things is, let's take a look at your resume, because I found out that probably 85-90% of the people who say they can't find a job, a lot of it boils down to something in their resume, right? It's there's either, you know, redundancy in their resume, there's, you know, grammar mistakes, things like that. And so it helps. You know, not everybody is, you know, I actually, when I was in college, I actually had to go through a course. It was called Business Practices. that worked on those type of things and showed you how to format a resume and told you what types of things you should have in a resume. So just from that alone, that gives me a little bit of a leg up. But you're talking about, you know, certain people who haven't had that type of education or background, they might not know. So it's always a good thing to, you know, to be able to look at someone's resume and help them out in that aspect. So it's good to hear that Per Scholas is doing that for their students.
Yes, they do. They help with resume building. They help you with your LinkedIn profile, pretty much your whole branding image as a whole. They work on your appearance, your resume, everything. So
excellent. And how were the labs set up? Was it, you know, each person had an individual computer, or, you know, were you guys using like virtualization to do some of your work? How was that? Because I know the A plus, and I guess it's the OS part of it. It deals a lot with you know, with Windows operating system. So
yes.
You have to have, you know, an operating system. You have to have Windows installed somewhere in order to be able to go through the exercises. So how was that set up?
So we paired with another. It was mostly pairs, and we would like I said, we would do the hardware part of it. We would take things apart and put them together. We would take turns doing that. We didn't really have any like virtualization, any virtual labs, anything like that. That's actually something that the NCR, the National Capital Region, the Per Scholas that I attended, that's actually something that they're working on doing now, is building the virtual labs. And so like I said, for us, we didn't have that. We weren't that advanced yet. But
gotcha.
we just took things apart, you know, with each other. We would take turns. We would observe. We would, you know, look at what the person was doing that was incorrect. We would, you know, try to just, you know, mimic how it would be like if we were on the job. Because it was mostly geared around, you know, the A+ certification is mostly geared around troubleshooting and desktop support and that kind of stuff. So we would pair up to do that kind of thing, like troubleshooting the computer, and then we would turn it back on and see, you know, if we would get the blue screen of death, or see, you know, what kind of errors or mistakes we would get after we, you know, took it apart, or see if, you know, make sure we can take it apart, make sure we can put everything back together, you know, the way it was supposed to without, you know, causing any major malfunctions or anything. So it was it was really cool. Like I said, the virtual lab thing is something that the newer Per Scholas members will be able to take advantage of, and I'm kind of jealous about that. I wish we had that opportunity, but it's okay. It's okay.
That's excellent. It's good to hear that. You know, it's always for me, and I'm a hands-on type of person. You know, I learn better when I'm actually doing. I think there's a lot of people that are like that. So, you know, it's good that, you know, it's not just a bunch of lectures. It is lectures as well as the hands-on part of it, so people can actually, you know, see what's going on. So you're not just saying, and the hard drive and the memory, and they actually know what it is, and, you know, where it plugs into on a motherboard, and they can get a lot more hands-on and deeper knowledge that way. So that's good to hear. So were there any other resources like outside of class that you used to study from?
Yes.
How? Tell us a little bit about that.
We, for a lot of us, we definitely took to Professor Messer on YouTube.
Yes.
Yeah, we used him a lot. We also, for me, I have an older cousin who's also in tech. She's A+ certified, so her and I would sit together, and she would just quiz me, and she would just go over her work and her workload for the day, and just tell me about the things she encountered, and just, you know, she would ask me like, how would you have handled the situation, and, you know, what would you have did, and, you know, stuff like that. So that was really helpful for me. And actually, she attended. We would have like study groups together, and a few times I cooked, and everyone would just come over to my house, and we would just study together and eat. And she came down a few times, and we all just asked her questions and asked her what it was like to be A+ certified and be on the job. Even she didn't go through Per Scholas or anything, but she was
Right.
really valuable knowledge because she was right there and she has actual experience with it. So a lot of us just
Right.
took to textbooks that other people we know have gotten to. It wasn't really anything other than the resources that they gave us there. We didn't really try to use too many things. We didn't want to review too many too much inconsistency for the most part. So we just
Right.
stuck with home things. So.
Right. You know what? And that's I try to. I think that's great. Like so there's this thing that I think Benjamin Franklin used to participate in called, I think it's called a junto, I think I'm saying that, JUNTO, right? And it's basically a group of people, like a club, and this club is focused on helping each other improve, right? So I think how they would do it is I think each person would like research something, and then they would bring that back to the Junto Club like every Friday or something like that, and they would talk about it, and each of them would give their opinions about it, or if any of them had any problems, they would work on how they can collectively resolve that issue, right, for that person. So it wouldn't be, a person, kind of just going off the cuff to try to resolve it. It would be a collective of people and of different ideas and perspectives and things like that about how that person should pursue resolving that issue. And I was always fascinated with that type of thing, that type of group, I guess, sharing knowledge and things like that.
Yeah.
And I would love to see more of that, not just amongst, people who are just getting into tech, right? But people who are already in their tech careers, and just to, kind of, what do they say, steel sharpens steel or iron sharpens iron, something like that, right? So that, you have this collection of people, and we're talking about, things in tech, and we're making each other better, talking about it. And maybe one person, maybe it's a thing where one person is presenting the topic. Maybe the topic for this week is virtualization. And, he gives a short, I guess, type of presentation on virtualization or cloud or whatever it is, right? But the object is to share his knowledge with the group, and then the group can then ask questions, and they can go around in a circle, and really like hash out like, okay, so what is virtualization, and what is it good for, or whatever. That way everybody is learning, everybody is sharing knowledge. I've always been fascinated with that, and I wish more of us in the tech field, and I say more of the more senior people, I would say, or the more people who've been in tech for quite a while, would do that a lot more often, to share it, especially within the Black community, because I feel that there's a lot more to gain doing something like that, and
I totally agree.
There's people out here that have a lot of knowledge, and they don't, and they might not, it might not be a thing that they do on purpose, but it's just they don't have that outlet to actually share it. And so I would love to see more of these type of, I guess, Junto type things happen within our community. I think it would be very, very helpful.
Yeah, I agree. It would be very beneficial, especially to the newbies, to people who are new. but to it'll be, like you said, it'll be a trade-off for each, for everyone coming in. Everyone gets to benefit from it. So I totally agree with that.
Right, and everybody was a newbie at one point in their life.
At one point,
so,
exactly.
Right.
Exactly.
So you told us about your cousin helping you out. Did you have any other mentors during the program? And if so, how were they pivotal to your success?
I didn't really have any mentors other than, like I said, my cousin, who was really beneficial in others. And I'm actually looking for a mentor now. Like you said, we need that kind of, thing. Right now, like I said, most of the people I come in contact with, because I've been in, training after training, it's mostly, people who are novice, who are like me, who need mentoring. So
right. Well, I'm going to say this. It's funny. I just there's a young lady who joined our Slack channel. How did I come? I think she emailed Blacks in Technology, right? Mm-hmm. She just went to our site and emailed us, and she told me was that how? No. I'll take that back. It was actually through the Facebook group. She actually sent a message to Blacks in Technology through Facebook, mm-hmm. and I messaged her back and said, hey, email me here at my email address, greg@blacksintechnology.net, because she is actually wants to change careers and move into tech, and she's interested in security, information security. Mm-hmm. And so I said, hey, the first thing that you do is join Blacks in Technology and join our Slack channel. Mm-hmm. And because we have coders in our Slack channels, we have network people, we have people that are generalists. They know a little bit about a lot. Mm-hmm. So and you're chatting with people in real time, and you can get your whatever questions that you want answered very quickly, right? Mm-hmm. But we also have the forums, right? And so I said, join the site so you can post questions on the forum, but also join the Slack channel because we have information security experts in there, coders, mm-hmm. network engineers, all that, right? Over 300 mm-hmm. people in our Slack channel. So she did exactly that, and she was actually struggling with whether or not what her career path should be as far as mm-hmm. She wanted to be in information security. What should she learn? She's been studying for a Network Plus and things like that, and she's wondering should I go for Security Plus thing? And I spent some time just chatting with her on there. And telling her like, hey, I'll help you out. Like if you're trying to learn some networking, if you're trying to learn, I'm not an information security guru, but I do know something about information security. So if you need some help there. But the real cool part of it is that I was able to find other resources for her based on what she was wanting to do, and I sent her a couple of links for some people who I know who are information security gurus and who are people of color, and said, hey, this guy right here is one of the leading information security experts around, period. And I know this guy. So, if you are serious about doing this, and if you want to, I'll make that introduction. I'll let him know that you're looking for some guidance on information security. I could tell you so much, but this guy, this is what he does all day, every day. And she at the time was actually, feeling real overwhelmed, not knowing if this was the right thing for her. And mm-hmm. she straight up told me after she spoke with me, it was, I'm glad you invited me to the channel. I'm glad we had this discussion. It's really motivated me. And like I told her, I said, hey, I'm in your corner because I'm looking. I want to see people like you succeed. All right. I didn't have a mentor while coming up in technology. And
Mm-hmm.
if you need that type of mentor, we can do a virtual session. We could do a Google Hangout, wherever, if you need explanations on anything to help
Mm-hmm.
you out. And not only that, now you have a place, now you have a resource, which is the big community, to come to if you need additional help. You've got over 1,900 members on our site. You've got 300 plus members in the Slack channel, and we're all willing to help. So I extend that same offer to you. If you need
Mm-hmm.
that type of help, or if you want that type of, guidance or mentoring,
Thank you.
I'm always willing to help. I know a lot of people in our Slack channel. We have a lot of developers in there,
Mm-hmm.
a lot of Ruby coders, and all you have to do is come and ask questions. And people, our coding channel within our Slack group is just nonstop, and people are just in there talking code, talking everything. So, like I said, our community is the greatest resource that we can offer
Mm-hmm.
each other. So,
Yeah.
I extend that offer to you. Take advantage of it. It's there for you.
Yeah.
Excellent. So Per Scholas, I know that they also partner with companies and things like that for job placement.
Mm-hmm.
How was your experience, finding a job after you completed the program, or what was your first job?
Oh man. Right after I finished, I interviewed for literally the next day. After being certified, I interviewed for MagView, which is a local company here.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't get the job, which is okay. And then it seemed like, I was really motivated. I was like, yeah, like I'm going to get a job. Like I'm so excited. I have this, my paper saying I'm certified. I have this card, like coming in the mail. I'm really excited, like, yay, let's go, let's do this. So I'm on, I'm on Indeed, I'm on Dice, I'm everywhere looking for jobs daily. And it seemed like I was going to get a job really quick. Like I said, I was interviewing. I went on a few interviews, maybe about 3 or 4 interviews within 2 months. Until one opportunity, I just sent off my resume to, because I was literally just sending my resume off like that, like just somebody just give me a job. Like I have the certification, I need a job. And like I said, Per Scholas, they do have job placement, but they can only do so much. They send you jobs that they think you're interested in, and you apply for them. You do that, but you also have to search for yourself. It's not like it's one person. At the location that I was at was one person who had 23 people to try to send jobs to, every day, and he was really consistent though. Like he was sending them like out, like keep like hey Chrystal, here's a job you're looking, I think you'd be good for. Send me your resume. I want to send it off. Check. Update your resume. Put this on there. Do this. So he was really good. He was fantastic. But you still had to search for yourself. So, but going on interviews, it was kind of discouraging. For a little while, I just felt like I don't know if I'm going to get a job. And then one day I just got a hit back and just got offered a 2-week contract, no interview or anything. I went on a 2-week contract. They saw my dedication, they saw my motivation, they saw my drive, and they offered me a spot to be in their help desk. That was for Australian University's corporate office. And
nice.
That was 2 months after I got my certification, and I was there for a while until I became a developer. So, yep.
Okay, and we're going to get into that here in a second, because I think that's even more awesome than going through the Per Scholas program. So there's something to be said about dedication, right? I tell people, and actually, when I did speak at one of the Per Scholas classes, that's like one of the number one things that I put up on the screen is passion. You can study till you're blue in the face, right? nothing is going to beat out passion. That's just
exactly.
what it's, period. It's nothing that's going to beat that out. And I tell everybody that, I spent some time on a help desk doing desktop support, things like that, for a number of years before. But the difference between me and everybody else that, stayed on the help desk was that my passion to become better and to improve my skill set. And so, I had an idea in my head, and it might not have been written down, but I had an idea in my head on where I wanted to go in my career. That's important too, having these goals and knowing the steps that you want to take in your career. And now that's not all going to come at once. And if it doesn't, that's okay. You can take things one step at a time. But I had in my head that, hey, I want to be a systems engineer somewhere down the line. And really just went at it, studied, went to conferences, went to meetups, with people that were way, way smarter than I was at the time. But I tell people it wasn't, I got my actual first administrator's job, my networking, it was actually, the job title was network technician. But I got that job mainly because, and I remember the guy who hired me, he actually told me this afterwards, like, we hired you because you have a lab at home, right? Because during the interview process, they asked, like, what do you do in your spare time? And I said, I'm on my computer doing labs. And I told them my whole setup. Like, I have this Linux computer, blah, 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 blah. And that beat out people who had more experience than me, because people were coming in and interviewing and saying things like, they would ask that same question, what do you do when you're at home? Or, you're off, and they would say, I don't even want to touch a computer when I get home. They were like, okay, so that means you're not trying to get better, and we need people who are dedicated to this or who want to become better, and that's pretty much how I got my first network administrative job, and from there I just kept going up. So there's something to be said about passion. There's something to be said about dedication, and you have to have it, right? Yeah. If you don't, you're not going to go too far, and you're going to find yourself falling behind. So. So you went from the Per Scholas program to a web development program at General Assembly. Is that correct?
Yeah.
So tell us, give us some insight as to what prompted you to make that your goal to become a web developer.
Well, like I said, I was in a 2-week contract at Strayer. There was about 12 of us. They decided to bring me upstairs to the help desk. I stayed on, and, I being in the help desk, I was like, I don't want this to be where I end. I feel like I need to constantly learn. That's just something I like to do. I like to constantly learn and progress and to just make myself better. Like, that's just, something I just can't sit around and just, not do something. Like, I feel like I need to constantly work or, become something better. And so working in the help desk, I met different people, from the the hardware team. I met the developers. I met everybody working for Strayer, and I just kind of try to challenge myself, like, okay, what is the next step? Like, what is it that you want to do next? And the site manager from Per Scholas actually emailed me and told me about General Assembly and told me about the opportunity. Not the opportunity, but told me about General Assembly and what they had to offer, because I mentioned to her, she asked me before, like, what is your next step? And I was like, maybe in a few years, I'll think about, going down the software route. And she was like, okay, well, I'll let you know if I hear something. And, that was just chatter. And so she emailed me about the General Assembly and was like, yeah, you should apply. And, I was like, yeah, let me look into it. So this was about maybe 3 months of me being in the help desk. I was just like, okay, I need to start planning what my next steps will be. I looked into General Assembly, and I just fell in love with what they had to offer as far as like the training and what was next. And the great thing about it was they were partnered also with Per Scholas. So
nice.
that worked out, pretty well because I was able to, get direct connections with who I needed to from Per Scholas directly to General Assembly, and that worked out amazing. And yeah, so I went from working in a help desk to being a developer like in the same year. It's so crazy when I think about it because I'm just like, I had no idea, going through Per Scholas that, this is where I would be venturing down, so quick.
Right. And give us a little bit more insight on the General Assembly program. What does that entail? What does that program
entail? Oh, wow.
Entail?
It's a web development immersive program. And when I say immersive, it's really immersive. Like, they really, like, dive you into everything, literally from JavaScript to Angular, Backbone, everything. Like, the thing that I've kind of stuck with is Ruby. That's kind of like my niche. I think I'm just going to be a Ruby developer forever. Probably not. I'm probably going to expand, but they teach you everything. It's really intense. They give you homework, projects, labs. They also have like a greet and hire kind of thing. Meet and hire where they. That's also coming up for me because I literally just finished the program on Friday, the 15th of January.
Oh, wow, congrats.
Thank you. It's been a really tough 3 months. 3 months of intensive coding, like you feel like you're in the Matrix. Yes, that's what it is. Like, it's so intense.
You know what? And not to cut you off or anything, but so about your story, I think through a Per Scholas newsletter, and I was like, oh, that's so cool. I want to interview her, and that's when I reached out to you about doing a podcast. Now, during this, and that was a while back because I've been like scheduling podcasts like way far in advance, and so like during the past I don't know what month or so, we've been emailing each other. I actually didn't know that you were actually still in the program. And so, I would say, hey, I need your bio and your pic. and then you would email me like, oh, it's been so hectic. I've been, but you never let on that you were in this program. So I was like, oh, I wonder what's going on with her. Like, and so like up until I think the other day, because I usually try to put the blogs out for the podcast a week early, and then I could start promoting it. And I hadn't heard back from you, and a couple of days went past, and then I emailed you again, and then I was just like, oh, I'm going to have to postpone this podcast because I'm not. He's not responding to my emails, and little did I know that you were actually, part of this General Assembly, this immersive program. So that's so now, you know what? So now I apologize because I know I was.
No.
I need your bio. Hey, I need your bio. I need a pic from you. I need your bio.
I know.
So
I'm sorry. No, it's been really, like, when I say hectic, it's been like literally projects where I've stayed like till 8, 9, 10, just there, just working. Like,
wow.
It's been, because it's like, I don't know, it's like once you become a developer, once you start learning all this information, it's just like, I don't know, you just want to do it more. You just dive into it, and you just become tunnel vision, and you forget the time, and you forget anything else, and then anyone around you is just like, you're in it. And I mean, that's because that's how it was there. That's kind of the environment it was. Like, it was a group of 60 people, and it was just us, all of the 65 people trying to learn all of this information. So it was really, really hectic. But I apologize for that. I'm so sorry. Like,
no, don't.
We had projects and things I was a lot.
You were doing something that No, don't apologize because you're bettering yourself and you're doing some extremely intense things. Like like I don't know if I could go through one of those programs at all. Like that, like at my for one at this point in my career, I know I couldn't. But back then, I mean, those things, and I've heard about them. I know a couple of people who run those type boot camps, and I've had discussions with people who run those boot camps as well, and they're no joke. Some people can't take it, and they'll drop out. And it's
real.
It's intense. It's intense. So, what type of things? I mean, I know you said you're learning Angular, you're learning JavaScript. Like, are you learning also like SQL? Are you learning about databases and things like that?
Yeah, we learned SQL, Postgres, SQL. We learned Sinatra and Active Record, and we've learned pretty much the whole meme stack. Like I said, Ruby, Rails, jQuery, everything. I learned everything that you need to know. I've learned a lot, probably more than some veteran developers, probably.
Wow,
it's been really intense.
So, and that was how long program was that?
3 months. 3 months.
Okay.
Yeah, so we were learning something new pretty much every day. Every day.
Wow.
And then we would have homework within that you had to submit, along with projects that you had to submit. And then labs weekly, so yeah, it was a lot of work. But they tested, they wanted to make sure that you knew what you were doing and you can produce quality stuff, so yeah. All
right. So you're ready to take on the world now with your coding skills, huh?
Kind of. I'm really excited to get some things under my belt, some exciting projects. I want to collaborate with some couple of the UX designers because they have a UX class there. So.
Oh wow.
Yeah, we'll see.
That's excellent. So what's is this what your ultimate goal is, to be a web developer? Like, what are you thinking about tackling that?
I don't know. Oh, I honestly love being a developer right now. I think I'm going to sit here for a little while. Not to say that I don't want to continually learn, because I want to continue to do that. I want to learn other languages and continue to, develop what I already know. But I don't know. I think I want to do something.
I'm pretty sure in the next couple of months something new will come out.
Yeah.
Tech moves.
Exactly.
Tech moves very quickly.
Yes. Very rapidly. So you have to keep up with the pace. So yeah. I definitely will be learning something, but who knows? Like, I'll probably be in another boot camp within another few months, because I just love, being in that kind of environment where you have to just give your all and just, be vulnerable, because you have to deal with that emotional change. Both of the programs, Per Scholas and General Assembly, both require you to just, like I said, be vulnerable and to, just be a part of, sit within yourself, like, this moment where you just feel like, okay, I have to really just accomplish this, but I also have to just, I don't know. It's just, it's really life-changing.
Right. You got to open yourself up.
Right. I don't know where I would be now if I wouldn't have gone through the path that I went through, honestly. Not to say that I would have, did anything drastic, but who knows? Like, I had no idea what I wanted to do with sociology. Like, no idea. And I just feel like now, I feel like I'm on a more straight and narrower path, with this information than I did, having a degree in sociology. Like, I had no idea what to do with it. So it's just like, things like this and these kind of opportunities really, they're really helpful, and they really are life-changing. It's really no lie.
Nice. Well, you know what? Like I said, Blacks in Technology, we partner with different tech organizations all the time, and there's always some type of opportunity to attend the conference. I do know that so you're close to DC?
Yes.
Or no? Okay.
Yes.
I do know that we there's going to be some conferences coming up. So you definitely want to keep on a lookout for that, because there's some, there's, like I said, there's opportunities for some sponsored passes. Like I said earlier, I mean, we've partnered with companies, organizations such as O'Reilly, the book publishing company. I think they're more of an educational publishing company now. They do a lot of have a lot of training videos and things like that, but they have some really great conferences that they put on around the nation. So, and we usually partner with them on some of those conferences. There's a developers conference that's going to be going on in Detroit here in May called Self. I went last year. I'm not a developer, but I did go last year. And we did a meetup up there. Went to some of the talks and things like that. It's actually organized by a couple of women. So, what's cool about that is that they really make sure that they have women speakers at the conference. So that's really cool. I think. I think her name is Amber Conville, I think is her name. She runs that. She helps run that, and it's a really good conference. So, that's coming up. We'll have sponsored passes. So, if you're interested in that, let me know.
Definitely.
Yeah. So last but not least, before we get out of here, what advice would you give to others thinking about following the path that you're currently walking?
I would definitely say do it. Put 100% into it. When you start to feel that emotional change, that emotional roller coaster, just push through, because you're definitely going to experience that. It's really rewarding to go through something that's intense, but as because it teaches you so many skills, that you probably wouldn't have learned just walking into a job. It teaches you so much more. And I would just say to, like I said, just be 100%, give it your all, and, don't get discouraged, because that's very easy to do. Just keep your head up.
Excellent. Well, I'm glad that you, again, took your time out of your night to join us and tell us about your story, about how, your life has changed through tech, and, share your story with our audience. So much success to you in the future.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Are you on Twitter or anything like that? If anybody wanted to reach out to you and say, hey,
I am on Twitter.
Okay. Give us your Twitter handle.
My Twitter is Chrystal.Banks1. And I have another one. I think it's geek_chic01.
Geek_chic?
I have two. Yeah. CHIC.
Okay. And the first one again is Chrystal, CHRYSTAL.
Right? Banks. Yep.
You said 01?
Yep.
Or 1?
And 1. Yep. And that's at my Twitter, but that's also my email address as well, at gmail.com.
Okay. And the other one you said is geek_chic? Chic?
Yeah, 01.
All right. I will definitely put that in the show notes. Thanks, Chrystal. I had fun.
Thank you. I did too.
Fun.
Thanks for having me.
I definitely want to, again, reiterate, join Blacks in Technology, join our Slack channel, pronto. And good luck in your tech career. I'm pretty sure you're going to do well. I can hear the passion that you have for tech, and I know you'll do great things. So,
Thank you so much.
Thanks for joining us. You're welcome. Take care.
You too. Bye-bye.
What a great story. That is it for this episode. I'm happy I got her on. and I'm happy that she was blowing me off and taking care of learning great things. So that was Chrystal Banks, everybody. She, fabulous story. That's it for this episode of the Blacks in Technology Bit Tech Talk podcast. So I want to thank our guest, Chrystal Banks. Thanks for joining us again. If you like what you heard and want to let us know, you have any suggestions or comments, email them to us. Contact us at blackstechnology.net. And join us in 2 weeks. Like I said, I've got podcasts booked out all the way until May. Right? That's right. So every 2 weeks up until May, I have podcasts booked. And we have some great ones coming up. But in 2 weeks from now, podcast number 88, our guest is going to be Nia Allen Lee. Nia is a marketing and corporate social apprentice for Reebok. That's going to be exciting. So this apprentice program, it's a rigorous, competitive year-long program with the goal of helping recent grads get into Reebok and Adidas's talent pool. So Nia's role encompasses social media, management, analytics, coding, and brand management. And we're going to hear all about that in 2 weeks from now, same time, same channel. And remember, check yourself, wreck yourself, take care, and have a good night.
Blacks in Technology.
Blacks in Technology. Blacks in Technology. Blacks in Technology. Blacks in Technology. Blacks in Technology.